All right, episode 4 of the FIU Athletics Podcast. Appreciate everyone listening to the last couple. I've had some fun guests from Logan Allen, Gabriel Gabor, Jonathan Cyprian started things off, and now we got one of the best in FIU hoops history joining us here on episode 4 of the pod. Osasumwen Osaghae joins in. Oh, good to talk with you, man. It's been a while. When I was talking with Jeremy over the summer, I said I feel like the conference tournament in Dallas was yesterday, but also like a million years ago. But first off, man, how are you, buddy? How's everything going for you right now?
No, I'm doing good. I'm healthy, which is great, and I'm kind of just been chilling at home. Can't really complain. Just kind of been staying inside and trying to be as healthy as possible.
You signed with an agency, right? And you're working. Tell me what's your day to day right now? I mean, hooping in the morning, hitting the weight room every day. I mean, how often are you hooping? Because this whole process has been kind of flipped upside down in terms of the draft, preparation, getting ready for whatever it may be. So what's the day to day right now?
So I signed a couple months ago, and it started off with pretty much I was doing pretty much one day would be on-court workouts. The next day would be weight room, and then so far and so forth. And it would just pretty much be alternating days except for maybe Sunday I'll have off. It's kind of been real stop-start just because of the whole virus. So some gym availability has been limited, and I've taken like a week or two off, which has, it's been longer than 2 weeks pretty much just because – this gym will close down or that gym will close down because for whatever reason, it's a lot going on right now. But currently I've just got back into the flow of things probably just a week ago. And so far, I just finished a workout like I told you earlier at 7:30 on court. And then I had another workout at 9, which is in the weight room. And I'm pretty much going about 4 days each. And I have about one recovery day in between for both. And other than that, I've started my grad school online. I've been doing it. That's taking up a lot of time. Just recently started that.
Yeah, and, why not?
Exactly. Why not just knock it out the way? You feel me? Complete it.
Well, because usually the season ends and then you start prepping right away, full speed ahead for the draft, which is what usually midsummer. Do you feel like this is an advantage? Like, hey, I've got more time to prep. I've got more time to work on aspects of my game. Or is it kind of frustrating? So, like, maybe you're thinking, man, I wanted all that momentum I had in March to kind of carry over to the draft. What's your mindset for how this is all playing out?
Definitely kind of a little bit of both. I felt like I had a, nation's leading shot blocker. We was 19 and something, gotten past the first round of the conference tournament. And like just the momentum and everything that was coming with everything, I felt like, and then there would be a lot more opportunities that would have opened up for myself and the team as a whole. So I feel like that momentum, the fact that we couldn't continue due to everything, has kind of slowed it down. But at the same time, like you said, like time, as much time, I still have a lot that I want to work on and get better at. So the more time, it's just literally giving me a lot more time to look into my body deeper, look into my game deeper. Yeah. I've been working out with great, elite level guys over the course of this time. And I've, been in contact and met so many different people. I couldn't even begin to tell you who, but that's only helped. But like I said, it's still frustrating though.
Well, let's rewind your story to kind of when it started. It's one of the more fun stories to look at in terms of quick development. You didn't play hoops growing up. I'll read articles about you. The press, you got a lot of media love this past year or two. And they'd always say, look, you didn't touch a basketball until you were 16. You preferred soccer, but then you keep getting closer to 7 feet instead of 6. And so that's got to start changing things. How much of you getting into basketball was A, your parents pushing you to play for Southridge, B, maybe this internal realization that, this has got to be the sport if you're going to make it in something, because 7-footers don't play soccer. And on that note, you were 300 pounds too. So how hard was this to get everything started when you're 16, when you had quite a few obstacles to overcome, whether it was your weight or you hadn't played basketball before?
So yeah, it was very tough. I was about 16 when I started playing basketball. And, to be fair, I was I was somewhat in shape when I was playing soccer. I wasn't the leanest guy, but I wasn't the biggest. And then it actually, my basketball injury that led me to kind of gain so much weight kind of I was naturally a big guy, but it kind of
Yeah.
happened by my second year of basketball. My first year, I was very raw. Played junior varsity. Had very limited skills. I still had size though, and that's kind of what led me to stop playing soccer and look into basketball.
Yeah.
Just because common sense says you're tall, give it a try, but also because my dad pushed me hard and kind of forced me just give it a try.
Yeah.
So that was great. My first year wasn't good though. I didn't really love it. I didn't find the fun in it. It wasn't like soccer. Soccer was still always my first love,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until maybe the following 2 years, maybe even not until maybe I was like late 17s, early 18s, that I got a long-term injury. I was out for about a year and some change, and I was just down. It's kind of like when they say when you lose something, that's when you realize the value of it. It was kind of one of those type of moments,
Yeah.
and when the game was taken away from me, I realized like, yo, like this is actually kind of fun and stuff like that. And when I finally got back, and I had to change my whole body because it's very hard to stay in shape when you're just laying down in bed and can't move or nothing for over a year. And I already didn't like the sport. I already was a lazy guy, already ate bad. So it was kind of just giving me more and more excuses. But luckily, I was able to turn that all around. And
Yeah, you went on the no carbs diet for a little bit,
yeah,
lost 60 something pounds. That's impressive for that period of time being able to do that. We'll talk more about Southridge. I'm not done with Southridge because I've read some fun stuff about your time there. But I want to fast forward and I want to hear more about this particular story because I did kind of a double take reading it. I'm just picturing it in my mind. You had a meeting with the new staff, Jeremy, Joey, J Bob, Kason. You had a meeting with the new staff in the summer of 18
yeah.
after they got here. And you were like, look, they don't know me anything. They don't know who I am. You're already kind of, there's a little trepidation. You're desperate for a scholarship, right? You start like, we were both walk-ons. You eventually got a scholarship, but like you started as a walk-on. You had a meeting, you head out to the parking lot after a meeting. You're emotional. The story says J-Rod, Coach Rodriguez, the story says, quote, he chased you down, told you that, like, this is like out of a movie, right? I'm seeing you storming out to the parking lot. Like, hey, wait, listen. Like, J-Rod has a conversation with you. Okay, it sounds very dramatic and like out of a movie, but yeah, that happens. And then the next day, you get a scholarship. So I need background on this story. Like, I mean, were you pissed off? Like, did you not hear what you wanted to in a meeting, or was it just kind of was it not that dramatic? Like, tell me about this
All
whole
right, so
legendary parking lot story. J-Rod chasing you down in the parking lot.
all right, so I will make it a little less dramatic. It wasn't
Okay.
necessarily movie style where Coach Joey was chasing me or nothing. It was more so I came into the office. I'm very close with Mike Oliva. He's
Yeah.
the director of basketball operations. So I talked to him. He kind of just gave me advice because I was getting ready to have that meeting regardless. So I was asking Mike Oliva pretty much how to approach it. The first questions to ask, greetings, stuff like that. Because I've never been in a setting such as.
Sure.
So I went inside Coach Ballard's office, which is all the way down at the right. And, he's a very nice guy, very respectful and everything. This is before I got to know him, of course. And he sat me down. We talked for a little bit about my background, about my vision. And then I talked to him pretty much about, okay, so now let me be quite frank with you. This is the situation. And I was wondering, like, what is the process about, or what is the update about this whole scholarship? And to be fair, he had just got informed that I wasn't on scholarship. He was new. He had a lot going on,
Yeah.
recruiting and different guys getting into his head and stuff. So when he found that out, I didn't give him much time. I kind of had the pressure on him, but more so because it was kind of an unfair situation because he came in very late when season about to start, and I was asking him around that same time, like, can I get a scholarship? But he was still relatively new. I want to say it was within his first week or two of taking the job. But, leading up to that, I was kind of getting, the whole no answers, the whole, we'll think about it, we'll let you know, I'll hit
For
you up
sure.
later.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of a runaround. And as more time goes, it's less and less options for me. So I'm thinking, I believe in myself. I think I'm better than this. If they don't want to give me a scholarship, I have to find it somewhere else. So I had already had it in my mind that if FIU don't work out, I have to, have it in my mind that I may have to look elsewhere. Of course, that's not what I wanted to do. But it just so happened that it happened like that, where I was walking out. I said bye to all the coaches because they all got separate offices. Coach Joey could kind of see the disappointment in my face. And he literally, as I'm walking to the parking lot, he called my phone. Didn't see it until I got in my car. Got to the car, called him back, And he said, as he's answering, he said, wait for me. And then he's like, hitting a light jog. He knocks on my window. We talk for like 30 seconds. And he's like, just have faith, have patience. I'll make this happen. Don't worry about nothing. And then literally as I come in the next morning, I remember I was walking in. It was probably like 9 o'clock in the morning. And Michael Leva was like, big day today. And I didn't know what to think of that.
Yeah.
And literally as we walk out towards practice onto the main court, Coach Ballard starts this whole spiel. And then he awards it to me. So it was crazy.
Yeah, right. You said you wanted to cry, but you held off that
I had to hold
until a
that
little
off.
later. I'm thinking of Joey running out. Osasu, don't transfer, don't transfer.
That was maybe I was a little dramatic when I told that story, but he
That's okay. You can
said,
embellish a little bit. You got to embellish for the.
He went out of his
funny.
way for sure, though.
That's awesome. That's such a. You always remember that day. When you get a scholarship. Especially after the first 2 years you had. Look, you had 12 minutes and one block your freshman year, right? You only played in 4 games. Even year 2, 33 blocks, but you're only getting about 11 minutes per game that sophomore season. So when 1, you get on the scholarship, but 2, Jeremy and these guys are telling you, look, you can be the best defender in the nation.
Yeah.
Do you believe that? Like, are you kind of like, what are you hyping me up too much right now? Like, was part of you like, wait, do you really think I can be one of the best in the country? Did you envision going from playing 11 minutes a game to leading the country in blocks? Did you even think that was actually possible?
Honestly, no. I never looked at that. I've never been somebody who kind of like, I set goals, but I don't set targets. Because then when you underperform, then you put undue pressure on yourself. So
Yeah.
I never went into a season saying, this year I'm going to be the number 1 shot blocker in the country. But Coach Ballard did literally tell me that from day one. Like, I don't know what he saw in me. He had a very small sample size. Obviously, like you said, 12 minutes my freshman year altogether and only averaged about 11 minutes my entire sophomore year. So it was a very short sample size, but he saw something in me. He has experience in this whole coaching situation and like working with different players. So in my mind, it's kind of like, one aspect of it is like he's hyping me up, he's kind of just talking. And then another aspect of it is like, he wouldn't just tell this to everybody. So it kind of like ignited like a fire in me, like, yo, I want to prove him correct. I want to make what he said actually a reality. And it kind of made me feel like I kind of owed it to him in a sense.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. You went from that 33 block season to junior year. You were 4th in the nation in blocks. You had 3 per game and led the conference, or 3rd in rebounding in Conference USA, 1st in offensive rebounding. And then as a senior, you're actually 3rd in the country in field goal percentage. So in addition to what you were doing defensively, you're really effective around the basket. We'll talk more about that in a second, but I want to keep going back to this theme of the first couple seasons and walking on in your journey. Look, so I mentioned we were both walk-ons. I look back at my freshman year in college running. Look, like you, I definitely wanted more opportunities. Like, didn't get to run at ACCs or regionals that year in 2011. But I look back and I think, man, you needed to do more. Like, as walk-ons, we make our living off work ethic, and I think I worked hard. But there's so much more than grinding, on the court or on the course. It's recovering better, it's sleeping, it's getting the hours of sleep at night, challenging yourself early and all throughout a workout. So with that mentality, you look back now at your first 2 seasons. Do you think you had a lot to learn or weren't doing things completely right? Or maybe even at South Ridge, when you look at how things unfolded there, I know Coach Heron would run the crap out of you in practice and you weren't the biggest fan of that. But like, how much, like, when you look back, do you think I wasn't doing things right and what maybe wasn't earning that playing time? Or did you always feel you could play a bigger role? Like, where were you at mentally during all of this? Your first 2 seasons.
I wouldn't say I was very young. I don't want to call myself immature because I feel like 2 years down the line from now, I'll consider this version of myself immature. So I guess it's kind of like, what you know. So I can't, at that stage in my life, I can't look back and say, I should have done this or I should have done that. I want to say that I felt like I did deserve more, but I feel like things in life just kind of take time. Like things happen the way they're supposed to happen. Like, you're not supposed to necessarily. Antonio Day, for example, like he's not a good example because he came in ready to play. There's not a lot of guys like that who come in their freshman year and do what he did. and help lead a program. There's not a lot of guys like that. So most situations, if you come in your freshman year, you kind of have to learn from the bigger and older and more seasoned guys. Sophomore year, you're slowly introduced, and then junior year, it's on you. They say the biggest jump happens from sophomore to junior year,
Yeah.
and that's when I guess you take what you know and you apply it, and it's whether you run with it or not. But I want to say I felt like I deserved more. I felt like I could have made more of an impact sooner rather than later and having to wait 2 years. But you learn through everything, so I might not have been who I was if I was playing 20 minutes my freshman year. I
Yeah.
might not have had the confidence or anything.
No,
So
that's a good point, and I like it too. I think guys transferring after a year or two to get their opportunity gets a bad rap sometimes. Like the whole story of your story is awesome, and I think it's glorified a little bit. I don't think there's anything wrong with guys trying, like, you only have 4 years to get your opportunity, but I think it is pretty awesome when it does work out like this. When you go through those couple of years where it's not ideal, but you stay and more than produced, and you leave a legacy at a place, which is pretty awesome to do that over the course of 4 years. You mentioned AD. We as a team, FIU, we averaged 30.6 points per game, right, on pick and roll offense. So that was the most in the country last year. You and AD, it was really fun to watch that chemistry develop. Obviously, he had such a great season distributing the basketball. Tev and Cam also worked that pick and roll game well. So how was the process of learning how to play that style of basketball, but also, maybe incorporate some back to the basket opportunities throughout the course of a game, learning how to balance that? What was learning that pick and roll system, the up tempo system like, and what were the biggest challenges? Because we would get up and down the court a couple of years ago, but it was not the same kind of pace, and there was not as much ball screen action either.
For sure. I want to say it wasn't the easiest transition because, I never played that style of basketball before. So my junior year, I want to say the biggest transformation, honestly, aside from, working on the game every day and getting stronger, Coach Ballard, Coach Casey, Coach Bob, Coach Joey, Coach Zay, Coach Mike, they spent, I couldn't emphasize enough how much time they spent on me having to be able to catch a lob. And as simple and as easy as maybe I made it last year, it was like a real point of emphasis and a real point of struggle. I struggled a lot with it my junior year. I think I only caught about 1 or 2 lobs my junior year. So, but the way they want to play, that has to be an option offensively. Like that is one of the better reads that they're looking for 9 times out of 10. So that for me was something that I had to really hone in on, work on my verticality, jumping, all that type of stuff, timing, understanding how AD likes to pass, where he's going to pass from, all those little things. But we spent a lot of time, me and AD are very close on and after court, along with Cam and Tev. And but that is a read that we it's constant repetition every single day in practice. So it took a while.
That's a great point too, because I feel maybe that was part of the learning curve was feeling comfortable in the interior after a lob, because maybe the early parts of once Jeremy and that staff got here, certainly before that, I feel like being comfortable in the interior, in the paint, or finishing a pick and roll, that might have been a weakness of the team, or just it didn't seem comfortable. But certainly that became a huge part of what we did offensively. More times than not, you had an alley-oop to finish things off. If not, quick jump and finish at the rim, and you felt comfortable. You switch to defense. What I love about our defense, man, the amount of switching we do, and the trust that goes with it. So a lot of times, right, teams are okay switching 1 through 4. Like college basketball, the sport has changed. Like if you're 4, you probably got to guard at 1 at some point. But not a 5. Like not everyone's comfortable with the 5 switching onto the 1. There are a lot of times you end up with a talented guard, top of the key, 1-on-1 with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And, when that started, you feel like, damn, I'm on an island. Like I'm by myself or like there's no pick coming. It's 1-on-1. Was that uncomfortable at first? Because did you have to adjust quickly to that? Because look, I feel like your success rate was pretty admirable in those situations. You have 7'3" wingspan. A lot of times you get a partial block that would lead to a fast break opportunity. How much of that had you done before, and how comfortable did you get with it? Because I felt like we were at an advantage when you switched, and that doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, no, that was something that even the coaches used to talk about. I mean, they used to get on our players not to help me when it's a 1-on-1 situation. And like I said, it's kind of like one of them situations. If your coach or anybody who's behind you believes in you that much, you kind of feel like you owe them. But it's not necessarily. It wasn't too uncomfortable because I take pride in defense, and I really do like having that ability to say, okay, guard is backing, backs up and gets ready to go full steam at you. I kind of take that as okay, there's a pride thing. It's a
Yeah.
challenge. Like, let me show you that you're not good enough to beat me, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was hard at first. There's some really good guards, obviously. So a couple of them would beat me, and they mess with your head. But we work on it so much, and I'm going against players like AD, Cam, and Tev every day in practice. So I'm getting good repetition and working.
Yeah. Good preparation for that. Look, the guards are going to get theirs, man. They like that. They're on scholarship too. They're going to get there. But man, it was fun to see the amount of transition opportunities we get. You talked about taking pride and look, you're not going to get by me. You like to talk during games, man. Every now and then maybe it would get a little chippy with opponents. So first thing I want to ask you, you're out of college hoops now, so maybe you can be our correspondent with this. Who talks the most junk in Conference USA? Was there a particular opponent who would yap? It was really fun to go against. Who talks the most junk in Conference USA?
Let me think. It's a tough one. Let me think. Somebody who talks a lot. Okay, somebody who talks a lot. It don't necessarily be bad. It's kind of like talking about how they're gonna get a bucket on you.
Yeah.
Javon, he talks a lot. He's very confident in his game, almost like in a cocky way. So,
say it one more time. I think that my internet may have fizzled out. Javon, who's that?
Javon Jackson,
Javon Jackson. Yeah.
He was talking a lot. He trusted in his game a lot.
Well, he's a bucket, so that makes sense.
He's a bucket. Hollywood as well.
Yeah, Tavion Hollingsworth. Yeah. Now, I feel you would a little. I can't remember if it was Charlotte after you spiked it into the ground like it was a volleyball, or maybe it was the FAU game. I feel like you had a spike, and then your teammates had to come over and quickly shut you up before you got a tech. Do you remember what would you say to antagonize?
I just I go with the regular, I can't really curse obviously, but I just say give me that, or that's weak, or
get that stuff out of here.
Get that stuff out of here. I wouldn't say too much, but I'll kind of talk to myself, but make sure you hear me type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, when you have 100+ blocks, you can deserve to kind of get a little chippy every now and then. There'd be some blocks. It's like, why did you even shoot that shot? Why did you try to shoot that?
Shot? Comments like that. I'll make comments like that, and then they'll get in their feelings about something, and we'll just be going back and forth.
The best is if you're subtle about it, like, hey, you need to work on that. That's not gonna you're not really you're just subtle, like that wasn't a good move by you. Just be very calm about it. Like I don't think that's a high percentage shot. Like, there's a lot of places that could go. What are you trying to work on right now with all the extra time? I know you said you're getting back on the court, getting back in great shape, but what aspect of your game are you in trying to prove? Because look, all the best players in the league, every offseason that they're adding a new dimension to their game. Like Dame this past offseason really made a point of being a high percentage shooter from 30 to 36 feet. Obviously it's chronicled the new aspect LeBron works on every year. What are you trying to improve in the short term? Because look, going into year one of professional basketball, whether it's the league, Europe, wherever it may be, G League, this is an important time. Like whatever aspect of your game you're choosing to work on, very important at this time. What are you looking to emphasize?
So one thing is I want to, not forget what's even given to me. I'm very much trying to own and do, but probably what I work on from my weakness standpoint the most is probably shooting. I've been working on my three, and it's obviously further than college. Shooting NBA or even the European line. So I've been working on my shooting a lot, and I've been getting a lot of reps. I've changed my form, and but at the same time, I'm not trying to forget about what are my strengths and stuff like that. But shooting has definitely been a point of emphasis.
I was reading in the Miami Herald article. You love numbers. You've managed to save almost all the money that's been given to you since your 7th birthday. That's very impressive. I feel like my 7th birthday money was gone by my 8th birthday. I don't know what I spent it on, but I think it was gone. That's pretty awesome. Have things changed since that article? Have you taken some of that 7th birthday money out of the account? Your mom said my son's definitely going to be rich. You know how to use money. Yeah, is that still all being saved? Like what? Why the? Tell me that. Go through that philosophy to me about just wanting to be very conservative.
I didn't even know the Miami Herald had that, honestly, but that is true. And came about because I just always been like a save first guy. I've always kind of like wanted to have money in my account or just money tucked away just in case something bad happens or for whatever reason I need the money. That is kind of still the same philosophy. You know, if I get $100, I'm putting 90 away and I'm spending 10 just in case.
It's a good rule.
Yeah, but some of that money has been spent till today just because of the fact that, you know, I've been locked up for literally.
I've got a suggestion. I know what you can spend some of that money on. Batteries for your smoke alarm. I think you I hear it beeping. I hear it beeping. I keep hearing it. It's only like $7. I have to do it the other month. What's that?
I was hoping it wasn't making noise. My bad.
Oh no, it's just subtle in the background. But we want you to be safe. We want you to be safe. Go get that battery. You can get that at Walgreens easy. You can get the discount brand. You won't have to spend too much of that savings. All right. Oh, we're gonna do speed round here. Okay. Just quick answers, or you don't have to elaborate too much. But yeah, well, different number of things. But we'll go with our speed round here. Okay. First. Best food on campus.
Pollo.
That's nice. That quarter chicken platter. That's so good. You versus AD in a 1-on-1 to 100. Who wins?
1-on-1 to what? I didn't hear that last part.
You and AD 1-on-1 to 100. Who wins?
That's easy. I'm winning. That's easy.
Yeah. Easy. You don't think he'd tire out? He'd tire you out?
He wouldn't get 30 points.
We're gonna have to put that to the test. Show you binge the most this quarantine. What's the show?
Blacklist.
Blacklist. Okay. All right. Then I'll have to give that one a try. Your NBA Finals matchup.
Player or team?
Team. Which two teams?
You put me on the spot right there.
Yeah.
Maybe
some good matchups here.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I gotta think on that one.
You don't have Orlando representing the East?
No, man. They're not.
What? You're hurting me, man.
I think it's gonna be 4-1. I think that was a fluke.
It's the third biggest upset in the last one. Look, the last 8 seed to beat a 1 in the East with that big underdog, I think was Golden State in 06 against Dallas. Really? They won the series. That's all I'm saying. It can happen.
Surprisingly, I got Heat winning it all. Surprisingly.
Okay, I think that's fair. If Bam can keep doing what he's doing, Duncan and Tyler shoot like they do, I think they got a shot. They just got to – who was? I think Chuck. I think Charles Barkley had a really good point. Like, Jimmy can't keep beefing with TJ Warren. They just need to put him away. Like, you can't be beefing with the 5 seed guy.
I like that.
It's fun to watch. Jimmy Buckets won round 1. I think round 2 might be after this. We publish this, so we'll see how it goes. But all right, so O's got the. Who do you have out of the West though? I'm putting you on the spot.
Maybe Houston.
Oh, okay, Miami. That's okay. All right, that's an interesting one. Your go-to karaoke song, if you do karaoke. What's your go-to?
I don't really do karaoke, but
shocking. Come on. One sec. There you go. I switched to my hotspot, so I think we should avoid that the rest of the way. Yeah, your go-to if you did do karaoke, your go-to karaoke song.
I don't, but I will go with "Burning Up" the Jonas Brothers, just because I like Camp Rock.
Okay, that's respect. I think a lot of people would respect that answer. So back to your soccer background. Bayern or PSG in the Champions
Easy,
final.
easy. Bayern, easy.
They're like, I've only just started watching like Champions League, Premier League. Bayern's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a good.
I
That's
mean,
gonna be a kill. That's gonna be a kill.
what they just did to Barcelona was
Yeah.
a complete disregard for humanity.
Black
I felt so. That was like Germany, Brazil, a couple
Yeah,
of the
literally,
other World Cup.
literally.
That was. I felt that they just completely sacked the entire staff of the Barcelona program. Like what they did to them, like
Literally.
that was not right. That was quite the introduction. All right, yeah, I don't think you can go wrong choosing Bayern there. All right, that'll conclude the speed round. Just to finish up, is it feel weird, man? Just not prepping for another year at FIU. Like what's your mindset right now? I know can't wait for whatever professional opportunity comes around, but how much I'm sure you're still in touch. A lot of the guys on the team this year, guys that you played with, obviously there wasn't too much turnover. So how much are you talking with the guys, and how weird is it at this point to not be ramping up for another season here just outside Sweetwater?
No, it's definitely difficult. It's different. You know, I've been doing this for 4 years, just kind of using this time to get prepared and get locked in for the season coming up. So it's definitely been different. I've been spending a lot of time at home, working out by myself, opposed to in a team situation has been challenging. But I'm still close with all the guys. You know, talk to them here and there, and even some of the new guys, I've gotten to know, and they seem like some really great guys, and you know, I'm still locked in on FIU, of course, and paying attention to what's going on.
No, it should be a very good season. The new guys that are coming in, joining the talent that's back, and look, there's the rule that's being debated right now. The NCAA, it looks like it might pass that. Final fall. I think all athletes this year, at least fall winter, might get another year of eligibility. I don't know if that counts for winter actually, but that's certainly part of the discussion. So maybe guys may be able to spend a sixth year here. Who knows?
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's ever evolving, but we'll see what happens with that. Last thing, do you have mask style? I spent $6 the other week to make sure that I didn't have to just use the hospital blue scrub style mask. I've got my Waffle House one here to go, ready to represent.
That's dope. That's dope right there.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. I like to remind everybody to mask up, keep driving our positivity rates down. You got any style?
I have the generic one, but
Okay.
I also have this one with the Nigerian flag on it. But
That's all.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There you go. You got to represent. I saw you tweet about Nigerian music last night. What do I need to look up on Apple Music? What's the song? What's the hit Nigerian single?
You got to get him to Burna Boy.
Burna Boy? Okay.
New song location. Burna Boy location.
Burna Boy location. All right. I'm writing. I'm putting that down in my notes. All right. I'll be vibing that. I'll get
Trust me on that one.
I'll get Zay to play it at practice. I'm gonna go down there right now. All right. One of the best in FIU history, man. It's been great. I got here after your freshman year. But I guess you would agree I didn't miss much the freshman year. But it's been fun to watch you grow from that sophomore campaign to what you did this past season. It's a shame, obviously, we weren't able to make a run in that tournament. But I guess you can say you ended your collegiate career on a win. So you have that going for you, and I'm sure you've got many years left to play wherever that may be. So don't be a stranger down here for sure, though. FIU is certainly very proud of you, and thanks for taking some time, man. It's been a lot of fun.
No, my pleasure, man. Appreciate you even giving me this chance to talk to you guys and everything.